So this entire tasting is what we call a deconstruction tasting. It's a deconstruction of our Solera 15-year-old. We're tasting the individual components that go into it. So what's absolutely pivotal to the process of making this whiskey is the Solera process. And I'm going to talk about Solera in detail as we have the next two whiskies. Before we do that, I want to tell you the more general, the broader process of how we make this particular whiskey. So the first three whiskies we're trying, and we're about to have the second of those, when they come off our Glenfiddich stills, they are all exactly the same. It's all the same new make spirit. We age them in different casks. So the first one was a bourbon cask, previously used in America to age bourbon. The one we're about to taste is a sherry butt. And the last one will be new American oak. But the broader process, so they come off the still, they're all the same, they go into different casks, and they come out very differently, as you will soon discover. They go into the Solera vat after 15 years of aging, which we'll talk more about later. And after the Solera vat, we go through a process that's called marrying. Now this is fairly unique to Glenfiddich and our sister distillery, Balvenie. Not many distilleries do this. We put the whiskey for 3 months into what we call a marrying tun. It's about 2,000 litres, and we've mixed together a whole lot of different casks. We want to give those 3 different whiskies time to get to know each other, to marry, to mingle together, to get a lovely rounded, consistent product. So they go into that marrying tun. After that, they come out, we do some filtration to remove any bits and pieces, and we take them down to a bottling strength of 40% alcohol. The Solera part is absolutely key, and I'm going to introduce you to Solera when we try the next whiskey. For now, the second whiskey. I'm sure there are some of you out there who are fans of big sherry bomb whiskies, whiskies that have been aged in a sherry butt. And that's what this is. This was aged for 15 years in an Oloroso sherry butt that was previously used in Spain. When they're finished with it, we bring it to Scotland and we use it to age our whiskey. This one's at 62%, so it packs even more of a punch than the last one, but it's an absolutely lovely whiskey. And when we tasted the last one, and I was giving you my tasting notes and I was talking about crisp pear on the nose, some of you might have been smelling and thinking, what's he talking about? I can't smell any of this. It's kind of hard when a whiskey is high in alcohol percentage to actually get the flavour, to get the aroma components out from the alcohol. So I'm going to show you a little trick to help you nose a whiskey, to derive out those aroma components instead of just the alcohol. I know this seems a little strange, but bear with me. That's how it smells from the glass, but take your glass and pour just a drop or two onto the palm of your hand. Rub your palms together and then smell. Give it a few seconds for the alcohol to evaporate. And then you get the aroma of the whiskey, not the alcohol. See, when you spread it very thinly and you've got warmth in your hands, that drives off the alcohol very quickly. So you're just left with the aroma components. Much like a perfume. Perfume is aroma compounds dissolved in alcohol. So if you particularly like this whiskey, or if your boyfriend or girlfriend likes the whiskey, I also recommend just a little bit behind the ears as well. So as you're about to discover, a sherry butt imparts a very different flavour to the whiskey compared to that bourbon barrel one we had before. It's actually a highly prized flavour. Bourbon barrels hold half as much as a sherry butt, but the sherry butts are actually 12 times as expensive. So it's a lot more expensive to age whiskey in sherry butts. But the flavours and the way we use them in the Solera are just fantastic. Let's go ahead and nose. So I get rich, dark fruits, a big oakiness, kind of classic sherry butt notes. Dried prunes, raisins, and a little hint of chocolate there, which is something you usually only get on a sherry butt whiskey as well. Time to taste. Now in the last take, my cameraman told me it was very obvious I was reading my notes when I was talking about taste. I tasted the whiskies yesterday and made some notes, so I am just going to read them. It's going to be very obvious this time. Palate: Christmas cake, dried fruit, sherry and clove spice, and a gentle chocolate note again. It goes into a dry finish with a small tannin bite as well. So like dark chocolate, you get that chocolate and then the dryish character on the finish. I know some of you love sherry butt whiskies. I know Arun Prashant in Singapore is probably loving this one. Enjoy it, buddy. That's it from me for now. Enjoy this whiskey. I'm going to be back shortly to talk about the third one and to tell you more about the Solera process. Thank you.